All right, let's talk about something huge. As our world gets smarter and more connected, how do we actually trust it? I mean, really trust it. Today, we're diving into two incredible new frontiers that are completely rewriting the rules of digital security. This is all about building a future we can truly depend on.
You see, right now, everything we do online, from banking to sending a private message, is built on math. It's basically a system of digital locks based on problems that are just too tough for today's computers to solve. We're trusting that these locks will hold, but what if they're not as strong as we think? What if that whole foundation is about to crack?
Well, we're actually facing two massive challenges at the same time. On one hand, you've got the AI complexity threat. These AI agents are getting so powerful, so independent, that we can't always predict what they'll do. Can we really trust their internal thoughts? And then, on the other hand, there's the quantum threat. Quantum computers are on the horizon, and when they arrive, they're going to be able to shatter the encryption we use for everything. So, we've got two critical questions. How do we trust the mind inside the machine, and how do we trust the messages it sends out into the world?
Okay, let's tackle that first frontier. How do you trust an AI's mind? Well, the answer might not be building a smarter AI, but building it a better home, a completely new kind of operating system.
This idea is called an agentic operating system, or AOS for short. And a fantastic example of this in the wild is a project called Artemis. Now, don't think of this as just another app. Think of it more like a digital city, a whole ecosystem where different specialized AI agents can live, work, and learn together, all under a set of rules in a safe environment. It's the infrastructure for a whole society of AIs, not just one lonely brain in a box.
So how on earth do you build a city for AIs? Turns out, you look at the best design manual we have, biology. Artemis is built on 4 amazing ideas pulled straight from nature. First, embodied cognition. The idea that intelligence isn't just abstract, it comes from interacting with the world around you. Second, morphological computation, which is a fancy way of saying you let the system structure do some of the thinking for you. Third, a classic, Hebbian plasticity. Neurons that fire together, wire together. It learns by reinforcing connections that work. And finally, cognitive morphogenesis. It's designed to grow and evolve just like a living creature.
And this is where it gets really cool. This isn't just philosophical hand-waving. These big biological ideas are translated directly into code. You can literally see it. That neurons that fire together idea, that becomes a trust decay model in a specific Python file. The structure doing the thinking, that's laid out in the agent routing rules. This is where theory stops being theory and becomes a real working system.
So what does this look like in action? It's actually super elegant. A user types in a command. The system immediately pulls out the key ideas, checks its roster to see which agent is the specialist for that job, and boom, routes the task. That agent then gets its marching orders and gets to work in its own little secure bubble. It's like having the world's most efficient project manager delegating tasks to a team of geniuses.
And here is that team. The city of Artemis is populated by a whole society of agents. You've got Artemis itself, the governor, making sure everyone plays by the rules. Then there's PackRat, who's basically a secure courier, moving data around safely. Codex Daemon is the system's doctor, always checking its vitals. And of course, Copilot is there to help you, the user. Everyone has a job, and they work together to create an intelligent system you can actually rely on.
Okay, so Artemis gives us a brilliant blueprint for trusting what happens inside an AI ecosystem. That's a huge step. But what happens when that system needs to send a critical message out into the big, messy, vulnerable world? How do we protect that communication?
And that brings us to our second frontier. Here, the solution doesn't come from biology, but from the fundamental mind-bending laws of physics. It turns out the quantum realm offers something truly amazing, a perfect, unbreakable seal for communication.
It all boils down to this wild concept called quantum entanglement. Imagine you have 2 tiny particles that are linked in a special way. Whatever happens to one particle, the other one instantly knows and mirrors it, even if they're miles apart. I know, it sounds like science fiction, but it is a very real, very powerful feature of our universe.
This is where you get the ultimate security feature. Let's say you encode a secret key in a pair of these entangled particles. You keep one, you send the other to your friend. Now, what happens if a hacker tries to intercept it and take a peek? Well, the very act of observing a quantum particle changes it. The fragile quantum state collapses, the entanglement is broken forever, and all the hacker is left with is useless noise. You cannot spy on the message without destroying it.
And here's the real kicker. The interception isn't secret,
because the link breaks, the instant someone tries to eavesdrop. There's no wondering if you've been compromised. The alert is literally built into the laws of physics. It's an instant alarm bell.
And let me be clear, this is not just a theory in a lab. A recent experiment successfully sent a quantum state across 27 miles of the exact same kind of fiber optic cable our internet already runs on. This technology is ready to plug into the infrastructure we already have.
So now, let's bring these two incredible ideas together. On one side, we have a system for internal AI trust inspired by biology. On the other, we have a system for external communication trust guaranteed by physics. What does this bigger picture really show us?
It shows us a massive, fundamental shift in how we think about trust. Artemis builds trust from the inside out. It's a living thing. It adapts, organizes itself, and evolves. Quantum security, on the other hand, guarantees trust from the outside in. It's provable, absolute, and based on the unbreakable rules of the cosmos. We are literally moving away from trust based on breakable math to trust guaranteed by the laws of life and physics themselves.
So why does all this matter? What's the big takeaway? We are on the verge of being able to build digital systems that are trustworthy by their very nature. Artemis gives us the model for a safe, internal society of AIs. Quantum security gives them a perfectly unhackable way to talk to each other and to us. Together, they point to a future where digital trust isn't just something we hope for, it's an inherent property of the system itself.
I love this quote from the Artemis white paper. It just nails the whole idea. The goal isn't to build bigger, more complex databases that are static and vulnerable. The goal is to build living systems that can learn, adapt, and reorganize themselves to become more trustworthy over time.
And that really leaves us with one final, pretty profound question to think about. As these powerful AI minds and unbreakable quantum messages become our reality, the choice we face isn't just a technical one, it's a philosophical one. Are we ready to build our digital world on a whole new foundation? One that's based not on brittle code, but on the fundamental, time-tested laws of life and the universe itself? Thanks for watching.